Hello everyone, welcome to the 6th installment of Skyrim's City Stories series. In this installment, we'll visit Windhelm, also known as the City of Kings, the oldest known human settlement in Skyrim, and possibly Tamriel. If you like my videos and want to watch more series, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Enjoy watching! Windhelm, the City of Kings, or Ysgramor's City, is a city in northeastern Skyrim, close to the border with Morrowind, and is the only substantial city in the Hold of Eastmarch. It is not only the oldest extant city in Skyrim, the oldest city being Sarthol, but it does hold the title of being the oldest continuously inhabited human settlement in Tamriel. Windhelm was once the capital of the First Empire of the Nords, and the old palace of the Ysgramor dynasty, the Palace of the Kings, still stands in the center of the city. Morvunskar is located on the strategic high ground southwest of Windhelm, overlooking the main roads leading to the city. Like most Nord cities, Windhelm has a Hall of the Dead, where bodies are interred, overseen by a priest of Archay who ensures that corpses are properly consecrated and cared for. The city's arena is known as the Hall of Trials. Windhelm was founded by the legendary Ysgramor and the crew of his ship, the Ylgirmet, following the Battle of the Mosring in the late Merethic era. According to Nordic tradition, after the 500 companions disbanded, the Ylgirmet's crew stumbled upon the barrow of Angol, Ysgramor's son. When Ysgramor looked south and saw where the White River flowed into the Sea of Ghosts, he decreed that a great city should be built there to serve as a monument to the glories of mankind. A place from where he could gaze upon the hill of Angol's Barrow, and a gateway to guard Skyrim's interior against incursion via the river. It was built by snow elf slaves of the early Nords. The city's Great Bridge was designed to allow a vigilant watch on the White River for elven attacks, and Ysgramor's palace, the Palace of the Kings, towered over the city to show man's dominion over the very winds that had caused Ingol's death on the voyage from Atmora. An elaborate tomb was built in the catacombs beneath Windhelm to serve as Ysgramor's final resting place upon his death, but was never used because he chose to be buried by the sea. Ysgramor's descendants would rule the burgeoning territory of the Nords from Windhelm. When Harold assumed the mantle of High King in 1E143, he relinquished his holdings in Atmora and established Skyrim as an independent kingdom with Windhelm as its capital. During the time of Freyj the Gifted, the city became the capital of not just Skyrim, but the First Empire of the Nords that also encompassed High Rock, Morrowind, and parts of Cyrodiil. When the First Empire of the Nords later collapsed amidst the War of Succession that raged from First Age 369 to First Age 420, the city was sacked. In Second Age 431, after the onset of the Interregnum, High King Logrolf was assassinated, precipitating a succession dispute between his daughter, Freydis, and Jarl Svartur of Solitude. While Freydis was accepted as High Queen by the Crown of Verity in Windhelm, a partial moot convened in Solitude and declared Svartur to be High King. From then on, Skyrim was divided into two kingdoms, with Windhelm serving as the capital of eastern Skyrim and the seat of Freydis and her line. During the Imperial Simulacrum in the late Third Era, the city-state of Windhelm was an active settlement, being ruled by King Asgan. It had a rivalry with Riften and Winterhold. It was neighbored by several settlements, including Amol to the west, Dragonwood to the south, Laentar Dale to the southwest, and Morrowind to the east towards Cormar View. When the Oblivion Crisis broke out in Third Age 433, Skyrim was under siege and faced severe casualties. It was said that everything between Falkreath and Windhelm was laid to waste by the Daedric hordes. By 4th Age 201, Windhelm was the center of the Stormcloak Rebellion against the Third Empire. Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak, leader of the rebellion, sought to liberate Skyrim from imperial control to protect the traditional Nord way of life and restore the right to worship Talos, which had been banned empire-wide by the White Gold Concordat. In open defiance of the ban, Windhelm's Temple of Talos was kept open throughout the conflict with the Empire. The city had also come to house a substantial population of Dunmer refugees who had fled Morrowind in the aftermath of the Red Year. The elves were relegated to the city's rundown Snow Quarter, later named the Grey Quarter after the Dunmer refugees, and face constant suspicion from the xenophobic local Nords. Argonians are also segregated from the Nord population and are forced to live at the Argonian assemblage at the city docks. A decree by Ulfric Stormcloak forbidding the Argonians from living within the city's walls also exists. If the Imperial Legion takes over Windhelm, Brunwulf Free Winter becomes Jarl. As a supporter of both the Dunmer and Argonians, he believes that the Argonians should remain outside of the city for their own safety. Because most of the folk in the city believe, as Ulfric did, that outsiders should not be trusted. As a result of the treatment they face at the hands of the Nords, the Argonians point out how their lives are difficult, and how the Nords do not appreciate them. Other Argonians are also warned about the living conditions in the city for Argonians, being warned that they should not want to live in Windhelm. Dialogue with Ulfric Stormcloak, Windhelm's current Jarl, reveals that he does not attend to the issues occurring in the Grey Quarter due to being too busy with the rebellion. Despite the claims of Ulfric's racism towards anyone who is not Nord, High Elves seem to manage living in the city much better than the Dark Elves, despite the fact that the High Elves are the head of the Aldmeri Dominion. Niranye, an Altmer citizen of Windhelm, implies that it is because the Dark Elves refuse to conform, rather than because of Nordic racism. She manages to attain a moderate amount of wealth and owns a stall in the market. During 4E201, as the Skyrim Civil War rages on, Skyrim becomes a nation divided, and Windhelm becomes the new capital of the Stormcloak Rebellion, the main center of the entire Nord Revolution against the Empire. Windhelm is governed by Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak, the leader of the Stormcloaks. Ulfric was chosen by the public as the new Jarl of Windhelm after his father, the previous Jarl, died. At least 3 of Skyrim's other 8 holds pledged loyalty to Ulfric and his Stormcloak Rebellion during this time: the Pale, the Rift and Winterhold, along with their Jarls, Skald the Elder, Korir, and Layla Lawgiver. We have come to the end of the 6th episode of the Story of Skyrim Cities series. You can subscribe to my channel for more Skyrim videos and to support me. I hope you are following the series with pleasure. See you in the next episode.